Today we're talking with Samer. I mean, this young guy studied mechanical engineering, worked with the likes of Procter & Gamble, and everything was good for him. But then he decided he wants to take a chance on himself, followed his passion, opened the sport facilities to teaching kids sports. Let's hear it from him. This is Talkabout. Samer, welcome to another episode of our podcast, Talkabout with Issam Akel. It's great to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, appreciate that. So, tell us a bit about you. How is your week going so far with the
Everything is going well.
gym and everything?
Yeah, we're now since Ramadan started, we're a bit tight in terms of available timings to work out and to run the classes. But you have to do what you can, to squeeze in the time and try to manage it all together. So it's been well the past week. Happy to be here. Really looking forward for our discussion and our talk.
Great. So tell us a bit about you, about your background. Have you always been into sports? What did you study? What got you into what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so sports has been in my life since I've been a small child. So and it's been something that I always loved to do. Even until this point, it's developed to become what I do for a living, and it's my business and everything. But it's still something that I really don't look at it as exactly. Yeah. My background, well, I studied mechanical engineering.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
yeah, I worked in corporate, I worked in manufacturing, and I worked in a supply chain company. Okay. I spent 4 years working in that field. And while doing that, also I did my master's in in engineering management.
Okay.
And yeah, I always had a career that was like well thought of. This is something that I was thinking that I'm gonna do and everything.
Well planned.
Well planned, yeah, exactly. But planned. I mean, I wouldn't say planned as something I wanted to do, but as I was always working towards it.
Direction.
Yes, working towards getting good at my job, getting good at my study, getting my master's and everything. But it was just me doing this because I don't know exactly why, but you were because this is what you're expected to do, right? And sport has always been there on the side. Like this is a thing that I'm doing, passionately with love and with obsession to a point. Like I still, now I work out twice a day, but even when I worked, I used to work out in the morning and then go to work, like to the job, then finish and then work out again. And that was the main thing that I used to do.
Your life, that was...
Yeah, exactly.
It's in your blood.
Yeah. So this is my background, if we put it this way. In the meantime, because of my passion to sport, I have done, yes, I did some studies in different fields of sport, including CrossFit, for example. This is I practiced CrossFit for a while. And then I ended up, starting a couple of small, I would say businesses or small starting points to train people and do group classes here and there.
Okay.
And then that developed into, Pinpoint Fitness, where we started our academy or our training center. So yeah.
Okay. We'll continue with the Pinpoint now. Will tell us more about it. But it's interesting that you mentioned 2 points that I've seen. Living all my life here in the region, in the UAE, born in Dubai. Again, it's something that I face and we face and we grow up with, and even some of the guests that came over here had the same thing. Like, in a way, the job, like, who made these sort of rules and regulation that the job should be a corporate job where you go at 9 to 5, 9 to 8. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but these sort of, let's say, like, I don't want to call them like stereotypes, but these terminologies and these rules and these, like, it's interesting how many. So we grew up with this, like graduate, get a job, work, and all this. Like this is the sort of trend in a way. هلا, what's also interesting for me that I'm seeing a lot, and in this region, this changing. Yeah, I'm meeting a lot of people who are not a lot, but like not little, who are, let's say, like you, coming and saying, listen, I quit, let's say, engineering, or I quit banking, and I started doing this as a passion, and I'm enjoying it. You know, and I really appreciate that. You know, appreciate that people realize that, you know, it's your own life. Do whatever you want to enjoy about it, as long as, you know, you're not doing anything wrong or hurting anybody, but just do what you're passionate about. So it's really great to hear it also from another person like you, that you actually done that. And it's quite a shift from mechanical engineering to sport and athleticism. Like it's a complete shift. How did your parents or family deal with that when you told them?
See, and I've always discussed this with even my friends, and whenever we talk about our careers in general and how our engineering study has helped us in general with everything that we do. A lot of corporate or companies do hire engineers just for the mindset that they gain from their study and their problem-solving abilities, their abilities to formulate methods to deal with everyday life, you know, problems. So this mindset helps you a lot. And I kind of made a similar shift or similar approach when I worked in my latest job, the corporate job that I did. It was not exactly engineering. It was very close to business or corporate, like supply chain management and all of that, but still with the mindset of engineering. So I've always thought that engineering will help you in that way. To come back to your question, my parents didn't. I wouldn't say they were against the idea, but they felt that it's a waste in the beginning. Like, I mean,
they all do at the beginning.
Yeah, they were thinking that it might be a waste. They're very supportive for what I do as a passion, right? Like for the sports and the training and the fitness and the competitions. All of this is something they supported from the beginning. I mean, it wouldn't have happened without their support, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But then again, at the same time, they would be thinking that way. Like, but you have spent a lot of time, a lot of effort building these abilities or those skills, those qualifications. And also experience. I mean, you work in a company. This experience, it's worth a lot of, effort and time to be able to get this experience.
Like what companies did you work with? Just to go through.
I worked in a manufacturing company that did construction chemicals. The name was Colmif. It's a local company. I worked there for a year. And then I worked for Procter & Gamble.
Nice.
I worked there for 3.5 years.
People won't leave, let's say, a job like P&G and pursue something else. So that's really like
exactly.
amazing.
So, but again, I don't like to claim that it's like I threw it all away to do something. No. It's really once you start, you're always like happy with the achievement. Like, yes, I managed to actually to be in P&G. But then after a while, you feel, of course, I love the company, I love the work, I learned a lot and everything, but you spend really 8-9 hours of your day doing this. And then before that, you don't do anything. You basically wake up and go to work, right? And then after that, you also have few hours, and then you sleep, and then you go back to the same.
Repeat.
Yeah, so, and then...
That's the corporate world, generally.
Yeah. So if and it's not bad. There are a lot of people that do this and they're happy about it.
Absolutely, they're the majority actually.
Yes.
We're the minority.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's. I hear a lot of people talk about corporates like, man, quit the 9-to-5 job and just do your thing. It doesn't work. It's not do this because you have to do this. No, but again, if you're happy and you're enjoying what you're doing, like you go to work, you feel like you enjoy this.
Exactly, and you're contributing and you're happy about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can still do a 9-to-5 if you're happy about it, enjoy it, and if you have a passion into, I don't know, music, drama, painting, you can do that at the side. Nobody's saying quit a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
And if someone is really contributing to the company, to the community, to the industry, and he's enjoying it and happy, and come on, at the end of the day, it pays well.
Yeah.
Why should you leave it to you don't know what else to do, for instance?
Yeah, exactly.
So why should you leave it at that time? You're passionate about, let's say, music, about soccer, do it on the side. you know. But
Yeah.
يعني, so I'm not like, completely good 9 to 5. I don't believe it. I agree with you.
Yeah, and the whole point is also again, even quitting a specific job that you do, it doesn't mean that you like. I mean, let's say you're already working in a job, and then you don't feel like you're contributing, or you don't feel like what you do is something you're happy doing, or you feel like you just go to work, you're just counting the hours till you leave. Then you definitely should not stay there.
Absolutely.
You can go to another job as well. It doesn't mean that you have to spend time doing alone things and all of that. So, and for me, to be honest, I never thought of it as this. I didn't start whatever. I started thinking in my mind, you know what? I'm just doing this in order to get rid of my job. No, at all. Things developed to become like this.
Absolutely.
And
fully understand.
Yeah.
I fully understand.
So this is how it worked out for me.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So you started doing, let's say, like a bit of a group, like classes or group classes or something, and then you develop it into, let's say, a gym, Pinpoint gym, like on your T-shirt, Pinpoint Fitness.
Yeah.
Is that how it?
Not exactly. Like we started it. We started with that thought that we will do some classes. Well, we started for a couple of weeks only, and then we found that there is this space that we can take and actually develop into a gym. So there wasn't like a transition.
Okay.
We thought of this. We were about to start. We bought equipment, and we were thinking about starting this training. And then that opportunity came that there is this space, and we can go ahead there and run our own gym. And that's what we did. So basically, the Pinpoint experience was, we started with it.
Started immediately. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it is. Me personally, I did train when I was in uni. I did train people on the side and all of that. So this is how the experience of training people actually also started.
So when did you start Pinpoint?
So we started Pinpoint in December 2018.
Okay.
So it's been like 2 years and few months now.
Okay, you started with one branch, which was
in Palm Jumeirah, in the Point, yeah. And then now, just 2 months back, we opened the second place.
Okay.
So yeah.
What type of classes do you offer there now, and what type of, let's say, it's not CrossFit, so what type of sport is it?
Yeah.
And what ages?
Yeah, so the classes we run are only for kids and for teens. So the oldest age group we have ends at 15 years old.
Okay.
So what we do is obstacle course training class that where the kids come, they have to complete specific challenges, and those challenges are designed to help them improve their coordination, their balance, their attention span, their agility. Like there are different fitness elements that we work on through those obstacle courses. So the obstacle courses are always changing, and so that we, expose the kids, expose the kids to as much physical stimulus as possible and different stimulus as possible. So that's basically what we do. It's an intense class, so the kids train for 1 hour, but they do a lot of intense activity. They climb, they crawl. They hang, they jump over obstacles, they move side by side, they balance. So that's the type of training we do. We developed the concept, the structure of the class. It's an accumulation of different experiences and different classes that we have run. And we combine elements of parkour with elements of ninja training with functional training. So me as a person, I like the idea of being a complete athlete or a well-rounded athlete. You are fast, but at the same time you're strong. You're flexible, but you can lift heavy weights, or you're good in different extremes of fitness. So if you're so a lot of for example, people who can carry heavy weights are not agile, or they're slow. Or people who are slow and people who are fast and can jump easily.
Cannot do weights or carry. Or
that's why I was fascinated by CrossFit, because CrossFit really trains the person for performance, for general performance, to be able to be a stronger, faster, agile person or athlete. So this concept is what fascinates me as a person, and that's what I like to implement in our classes. So that like when we train the kids, they're not trained to be just fast or agile or have good balance. They do all of that, but they are strong at the same time, and they're accurate in their movement. And so this is basically how we, run or design our classes.
But for kids, for instance, for strength training, what type of, we don't want to go too much in details, but just the borders. What type of strength training do you do for kids? And I see some places that, like gyms are spread everywhere now around the world, but everywhere is different. But I see a lot of these sports or gyms that they don't promote warming up, stretching, and all these things that people, it's like a football class and you just give a kid a ball.
Yeah.
And that's just, the ball should be the last thing, for instance. And so what do you do for strength,
Okay. Well, the whole concept of our class is that the kid needs to go outside their comfort zone, which is applicable to anyone who's trying to learn a new skill or develop in a specific skill. Like if you want to get stronger and every day you carry 50 kilos, every day, not much is going to happen. You will get stronger eventually, gradually, but what really helps is that you push over the 50 kilos a little bit. If you can carry it 10 times, then today try to carry it 12 times, 15 times, and so on. True. So pushing beyond the comfort zone, this is how you actually develop and build your strength or build any skill at all. So that's how we do it with the kids as well. So if we're working on their grip strength, so they're climbing something, so we will incorporate that in the obstacle course. This is something that will work on their strength. Now, how we make them push beyond their comfort zone is by giving them a target. Okay. That now, for example, they start the obstacle course or they start the challenge and they achieve a specific score. They do it in 20 seconds. Now, next time they do it, we tell them, you have done it in 20 seconds. Now, you must do it in less than that. If they succeed, or even they try, that's just the fact that they keep trying to do it better, they hold on more, or move faster, whatever, this makes them push beyond their ability a little bit, or beyond their comfort zone, and that's basically how you develop their strength. Technically speaking, of course, we have parts of the class where we make them do specific moves, where they warm up, where they do some push-ups, they do some movements. But again, with kids, that's not the only way. Not so many kids are motivated by the fact that they want to get stronger, or by the fact that they have to do the repetition a lot to get stronger. They don't think that way. So they're motivated by a straightforward goal, achieve that goal. So they do everything to achieve that goal, and in the process, you actually help build their skills.
So you keep track of all the kids that are there. When you say someone did it in 20 seconds,
yes, definitely.
You have a track, and I also hear kids that say that they have the numbers, or they have 1,000 burpee passes.
Yeah.
They keep. So what is that all about?
So within the class itself, there is a scoreboard. So the kids, their names are there, and whenever they do any measurable challenge, we write their scores immediately, so that the second time they try it, they have a benchmark. That's what we do within the class. Now we have something that's ongoing. It's a burpee pass. So it's a pass not to do burpees. So we use burpees, it's like our currency in the gym. So whenever you do something, like you pay fines by your burpees,
I like that, use it as a currency.
Exactly. So whenever the kids do some achievement in the class, they gain some burpee passes. And that stays there for life. It stays on the board. It's not like within the class.
So if you tell someone do 30 burpees, he can tell you, I have 1,000 burpee passes. I'm not doing it.
I take 30 burpees from the class.
From him.
Yes,
okay.
It's not. Yeah,
but he doesn't need to do burpees anymore.
But he doesn't need to do the burpees. Yes.
Okay.
But there are of course terms and conditions. There are times that they must do the burpees because we use burpees, right?
Okay, absolutely. But that's a smart approach actually.
So yeah, that's one way of doing it. Okay. But yeah, the whole concept is to have measurable targets for the kids.
So what do you think that actually separates you, like, from, let's say, other gyms for kids? What do you think separates and puts pinpoints? You know, what's the market or creative edge that you have, for instance, that keeps you successful for the next? Well, I've seen a few things myself, but I also want to know from your own feedback as well.
Yeah.
What do you see? How's the parents' is it parents' feedback? Is it what makes you stand out?
Yeah, like one major element that I think makes us special is that we are very attentive to details.
Okay.
Like we treat kids like they are very smart. Like even the name Pinpoint, it's that we're trying to signify accuracy and attention to detail. So what you see a lot in the market or in general when people are treating kids is that they talk to them in a way that is they're considering that the kids are not very smart or they're naive, or you know. We don't do that. We expect that the kids are very smart.
Mosquitoes bothering me in front of me all the time. It's okay.
So yeah, we consider that we treat them this way, that they are smart. We consider that the average kid in the class actually understands very specific details, and we demand that from them. So when you tell the kid that you have to jump exactly on this point, you have to land at that exact point, you have to hold the obstacle from here and only from here. When you give them very, very strict and detailed instructions, and they manage to do them, this is what makes them, you know, really learn, and it develops their personality and improves their work ethic on so many levels. They become perfectionists in the way they do anything, you know. So I think this is the main thing that makes us different, is that we don't just let things go and make the kids, jump. Well, he jumped, let him go. No, the kid must perform the move to the standard that we want. And if he doesn't, or if she doesn't, we don't okay, fine. I mean, we're not gonna stop them, punish them. But then he understands that he has not done it correctly, so he has to keep trying again. So the idea of treating the kids in a way that is, we're laughing, we're having fun, do whatever you want, you did it correctly, it's okay, try again. No, we don't do that.
Don't do that.
We show them that this is what is required from you. You do it, good, you're amazing. You haven't done it, you keep trying until you do it. So there is no compromise, there is no the idea of them just coming to have fun and to leave. I think this is the main thing that makes us a bit different. Okay. And
now, as a parent myself, but I can also speak for several other parents, you know, with kids, parents can't help but, even kids themselves, to compare or say, okay, this kid, my kid has been doing this for 3-4 years, and this kid just joined now, and he's developing at a faster pace. Why is that? And they start pushing their kid. You see that personally, I don't believe in comparison with kids, with adults. I just feel everybody has their own journey, their own way. Everything is just so it's a complex. It's not an easy way. Okay, here is somebody else. Why can't you do it like him? Even brothers and sisters. So I don't believe in the term of comparing, but one can't help, parents sometimes, they can't help but compare. My daughter is doing tennis for, 5 years, and the other day our neighbor joined, and she's younger than my daughter, and she's joining this competition, for instance. And then also, so parents get sort of stuck in this place, and sometimes they take the kid out of this, even though the kid loves it, because they see the kid is not improving. Maybe this gym is not good. Maybe the kid just is not good enough, you know? So, what's your say on that? I mean, how do you deal with that? How do you explain to parents this thing that everybody, maybe he's a late learner, maybe he's just, he will develop, maybe the height, maybe the physicality, and whatever.
So there are so many ways to look at this. So
but actually, do you see that? Do you have parents coming to you that discuss this throughout
Now that I've had the issue with parents comparing between the kids. Yes, I have seen this, and I have seen it in both directions. So parents that are complaining that they're, for example, their kids are being pushed too far, for example, and others who are saying that I don't like my kid being in a class with other kids that are slow or are smaller or something like this. So the first answer or the first point here that really matters is that you track relative progress relative to the person himself or herself. So you see that the kid, for example, started having this ability, and then we compare with where he is or she is now. We don't compare with how he is versus others. I mean, if you're in a room full of people who are not athletic, and you're always the strongest, it doesn't mean you're really strong, right? And the opposite as well. If you're in a room full of strong people and you are just, average compared to them, maybe compared to the normal population, no, you are very strong. So what matters is really to track your own progress and not compare with others a lot. This is one thing. And another thing also is that when you want to compare to others, you need to apply a scientific way of comparing. So you need to kind of put all the variables that are similar and compare them.
Like an apple to apple.
Yes, exactly. So if the kid is 8 and you're comparing him to a 10-year-old kid, maybe it's not a fair comparison. Sometimes there are borderline ages as well. So if the kid like a kid who's 5 and a kid who's 6, despite the fact that the difference is 1 year, this age difference between 5 and 6 is the time they go to school versus the time they're before school. That makes a huge difference in the way the kid reacts and behaves. So again, it's very important to know when to compare kids to each other. There's also the size, like a tall kid. I mean, I'm not talking about he's being overweight or not. But a tall kid versus a kid who's shorter. So you need to, when you compare those elements, do play a very important role. So yeah, it's important to know whether it is right to compare, yes, apples to apples or whatever. And also it's important to track relative progress, that you see how the kid is developing versus their own. So that's what I believe. I mean, and not only what I believe as an opinion, but
what you see.
What I see, exactly. Mm-hmm. I personally, even me, within a class, I have kids who are regulars, who are super athletic now. They come, they perform amazingly. Yeah, good job. That's it. There's a kid who not very athletic. He did the whole course with a couple of mistakes, but one element that he does always wrong, he does it in the right way. I get super happy. I get super excited.
Accomplishments.
Because it's an accomplishment for his ability.
Small triumphs.
Yes, yeah. So another kid might do the whole thing even better and faster and stronger. But I wouldn't get that impressed because, yeah, that's what you do every day. I want you to go to the next level.
Progress.
Yeah,
progress
relative to his, yeah, exactly.
To his what's so here is putting you on the spotlight. Do you believe talent is born or acquired?
No,
or both.
I believe, of course, definitely. If you have talent, you need to work. So maybe both would be the the right answer. But I do believe that you can be born with a talent and that you can have a head start. Yes, I do believe in that big time, and I have seen it because I've seen it with kids mainly. Because if you have a 20-year-old who come in, fine. Then I mean, you don't know what he has done in those 20 years. But if a kid is 5. So
how much can he do?
Yeah, exactly. It's clear that he has this ability somehow. It doesn't mean, by the way, again, it doesn't mean that a person or a kid who's not talented from the beginning will never achieve. No, but yeah, it's a head start.
Sometimes when it happens with the parents, at times, besides what you said, and with kids themselves, is that sometimes the kid who's talented, and the kid that's working hard but still gaining to that. So the talented kid, it's like being in a class when we were in school and there was this smart kid, and he's always acing his science classes. And you're working so hard and you barely get a B or B minus. So we will feel like, it's unfair. So, I mean, so it's a thin line, for the kids to explain a lot of education for the kids to explain that, it shouldn't pull you down, it shouldn't, slow you down, it just,
Definitely. I mean,
not that you don't have a talent and he has a talent. You cannot, say that straightforwardly. But again, I think there's other variables. The interest, how much you're in love with this, how much you're in love to achieve, how much you want to progress. I think it also differs from one person to another person.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying that. I was trying to answer specifically to that point, whether there is, you believe in talent or
that we agree.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that eventually, after I don't know a few years,
that guy might leapfrog him.
Big time. Yes, definitely. Yeah, and I've seen it in our classes. We have had kids who started. They were like the slowest, or they were the least capable in the class, and they're now considered the most. Yeah, so that can happen as well. I mean, and it happens a lot.
Absolutely.
I've always heard and seen those statements that hard work pays off, or beats talent, or stuff like this. So yeah,
if you don't work on your talent in anything, it's going to be a wasted talent. There's nothing worse
exactly
than a wasted talent.
Yeah.
So again, people go through stages and go through different interests and different things in their life, but I 100% agree. So Sam, it was wonderful to have you. Is there anything else you want to share with, you want to express or tell us about your plans, or anything you want to share also? Or we've covered everything.
I mean, we covered a lot of the key points. I've been really enjoying the discussion.
Yeah.
Likewise. I like talking about fitness. I enjoy everything about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's doing it or talking about it, or actually going into the details of it. Like what I really, I mean, if I will add another thing or another point, which also relates to what I was just saying, is we always look at training or doing sports as something secondary, or something that is, we do it on the side.
Absolutely.
But there is a lot of science and a lot of details and a lot of details that really matter when you perform sports or train people or teach people, especially kids, in doing this type of activity. And also I believe that it helps on so many levels, whether you're an adult or you're a small kid. Doing sports helps you on so many levels beyond the physical part. I mean, of course, we all know the physical benefits, right? But being in a competitive sport or training to improve your performance teaches you as a person so many things. So and I see this mindset actually changing in a lot of people, where they look at sports in a different way now. And parents, it has become more like for parents, it has become more like a necessity for the child, not like how it used to be, like an entertainment only.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm glad this is happening, and I always try to push to talk to people in that way, that sports is not like
a hobby or something. I think it's a necessity, as you said. It's a lifestyle, like eating, drinking, sleeping.
Yeah.
I think it's becoming, it's always been, but I think
the mindset,
it's people understanding it's a way of living.
That's
how I see it, and I agree. I'm happy that I'm seeing it change. Like the mentality has been changing.
And again, we've always dealt with parents trying to just bring their kids to have fun in the class. I mean, of course, having fun is awesome. We always want to have fun, right? But again, what I'm trying to achieve is to make this look like the parents and the kids are coming to actually develop and become better at this, which is as important as becoming good at science, at math, at studies, at all the other skills that you acquire in school.
Agreed.
And so on later on in life.
Agreed.
So yeah.
Samar, I really love chatting with you. I mean, this has been awesome. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So,
yes, I did.
Thank you for coming here, and maybe one time I'll come to Pinpoint and I'll see if I can get all my skills back. Where will I? How will I perform in this?
Sure.
I haven't done parkour and jump for a while, but I'm interested to get back to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
And see you soon.
You.